Okay, welcome in. I am 4 days behind on my hockey, so I got a lot of catching up to do. I will try my best to have this all uploaded on the same day, but sometimes these videos take hours just to upload. So if it's not all uploaded at the same time or same day, I do apologize, but I'm certainly going to do my best to get everything recorded in the same time. So Friday, there were a total of 6 games in the National Hockey League. Starting in Toronto, as we had the Maple Leafs playing host to the Washington Capitals. There was no scoring in the first period. Nick Dowd would open up the scoring in the second, getting his 8th goal of the season from Matt Roy, 1 minute and 6 seconds in the middle frame. Staying in the second, John Tavares would tie the game up at 1, getting his 12th goal of the year, assisted by Tanev, 11:31 of the middle frame. In the third period, Connor McMichael would put the Capitals back on top, getting his 15th goal of the season from Pierre-Luc Dubois, 9:51 of the third period. Toronto would pull their goalie. Unfortunately, they were not able to tie it up, as Alexei Protas would get the empty net goal, his 9th of the season, assisted by Dowd and Tom Wilson. So the Capitals would go into Toronto and get a big 3-1 victory. I got to say, I didn't think a team that lost their captain and their leader would be playing as hot as or as well as they are. But man, just goes to show they're not a one-person team. Okay, the New Jersey Devils played host to the Seattle Kraken. In the first period, Andrei Burakovsky would make it 1-0 in favor of Seattle. That would be his 2nd goal of the year from Vince Dunn, 10 minutes and 16 seconds of the opening frame. Luke Hughes would get his first goal of the season from his brother Jack and Brat, 12:27 of the first, tying the game up at 1. Shane Wright would get his 6th goal of the season, putting Seattle up 2-1, 3:41 in the second period. That'd be his power play goal from Tolvanen and Schwartz. Jesper Bratt would tie the game up at 2, getting his 13th goal of the season from Jack Hughes and Brandon Dillon, 8:03 of the second frame. In the third period, just 53 seconds into the third, Timo Meier would give the Devils their first lead of the game, his 9th of the season, unassisted, and that's how the game would end 3-2. Off to the Metropolitan Division, where we have the New York Rangers playing host to the Pittsburgh Penguins. There was no scoring in the first. Blake Lizotte would kick things off for the Penguins in the second, getting his 5th goal of the season from Glass and Erik Karlsson, 6:19 of the middle frame. Just over a minute after that, Artemi Panarin would tie the game up at 1, getting his 14th goal of the year, assisted by Lafreniere and Trocheck, 7:28 of the second period. With just 2 seconds remaining on the clock, Panarin will get his 2nd goal of the game, his 15th of the season from Trocheck and Schneider. Heading into the third period, the Rangers obviously had a 2-1 lead. Philip Tomasino would tie the game up at 2, getting his 3rd goal of the year from Bunting and Pettersson, 8:29 of the third period. Riley Smith would give the Rangers a 3-2 lead, 9:53 of the third. For Smith, that'd be his 4th goal of the year from Zibanejad and Chris Kreider. Vincent Trocheck would double up the score at 4-2 with 1 minute and 38 seconds to go, getting his 7th goal of the year from Lafreniere and Panarin. So Panarin had 2 goals and an assist in a 4-2 Rangers win. The Vancouver Canucks played host to the Columbus Blue Jackets. In the first period, Mathieu Olivier would kick things off for the Blue Jackets, getting his 8th goal of the season from Sillinger and Aston Reese, 7:10 of the opening frame. Devin Severson would put the Blue Jackets up 2-0, getting his 6th goal of the year from Provorov and Marchenko, 12:18 of the first. Brock Besser would get the Canucks on the board in the second, getting his 7th goal of the year, assisted by Hughes and Desharnais, 3:52 of the middle frame. Kiefer Sherwood would tie the game up at 2, getting his 7th goal of the season, assisted by Bluger with exactly 1 minute to go on the clock. 2 minutes and 17 seconds into the third, Pius Sutter would get his 10th goal of the year from Garland, putting the Canucks up 3-2, their first lead of the game. Jake DeBrusk would increase that lead to 4-2, getting his 12th goal of the season, a power play goal from Quinn Hughes and Brock Besser. Pius Sutter would increase the lead to 5-2, getting his second goal of the game, his 11th of the season, assisted by Pettersson, and that goal happened with 1 minute and 5 seconds to go on the clock. So despite the fact that the Canucks were down 2-0 in the first, they scored 5 consecutive goals, winning 5-2. The Vegas Golden Knights played host to the Dallas Stars. These two teams are extremely familiar with each other, meeting in the playoffs for 2 straight seasons, and 3 out of the last 5, if I'm not mistaken. In the first period, Thomas Hertl would kick things off for the Golden Knights, getting his 9th goal of the season, a power play goal from Stone and Shea Theodore, 15:23 of the opening frame. Marvick Bourque would tie the game up in the second, getting his 2nd goal of the season from Buck and Blackwell, 6:39 of the middle frame. With just under 5 minutes to go, 4 minutes and 20 seconds to be exact, Jack Eichel would put the Vegas Golden Knights back on top, getting his 9th goal of the season, a power play marker assisted by Shea Theodore. Nick Waugh would score just over a minute after that, increasing the lead to 3-1, getting his 6th goal of the season, making it 3-1 in favor of Vegas. Mason Marchment would cut the deficit to 3-2 in the third with 2 minutes and 34 seconds to go. For Marchment, that'd be his 12th goal of the year, assisted by Johnston and Heiskanen. Unfortunately, Dallas was not able to tie it up, so Vegas would win 3-2. And the last game took place in Anaheim as the Ducks played host to the red-hot Minnesota Wild. There was no scoring in the first. Marco Rossi would kick things off in the second, getting his 8th goal of the season, a power play goal from Kaprizov and Spurgeon, 4:22 of the middle frame. He would get his 2nd goal of the game, his 9th of the year, from Boldy and Faber, 8:03 of the second frame. Staying in the second, Boldy would increase the lead to 3-0, getting his 12th goal of the year from Rossi and Kaprizov, 10:51 of the middle frame. 1 minute and 21 seconds into the third, Kirill Kaprizov would increase the lead to 4-0, getting his 17th goal of the season from Foligno and Matt Boldy. Brock McGinn would finally get the Ducks on the board with 3 minutes and 23 seconds to go. For McGinn, that'd be his 4th goal of the year from Fowler and Leeson. The Ducks pulled their goalie even though they were down by 3 with just over 2 minutes to go. Trennan would get the empty net goal. That'd be a shorthanded goal as well, unassisted, with 1 minute and 17 seconds to go on the clock. All right, so because I'm so far behind, I'm going to wait until I get Monday's games dealt with before I take a look at the standings. As always, if you're new to this channel and you like this type of content, feel free to hit the sub button. I'd be very grateful and very appreciative. Until next time, and as always, take care.